Okay, so I'm going to address what happened. My chain popped off and it locked up the tire at 39 miles an hour. You can see where the bike was skidding at. I'm surprised this tire actually held up. Knowing that it's a bicycle tire, they don't really do too good. I'm not gonna lie, that was terrifying. It felt like I was on ice just slipping around on it. But luckily I was able to control the bike. This sprocket adapter moved. And I don't know if the engine had too much torque and just moved it out of position. It doesn't help that this sprocket's I think this sprocket's too small. So there was a little bit, there was a lot of stress on that. I didn't see how fast this thing was revving. I wasn't looking down. This thing worked really well. It felt like an actual scooter. So I've ridden mini bikes, I've ridden motorized bikes, I've ridden motorcycles, go-karts and stuff. This thing actually felt like riding a scooter. I know the correct term is motor-driven cycle, but people know them as scooters. And it had a very slow acceleration, just like my motorized trike. Gearing was too tall. So that was problem number one. Just, it was too tall and slow acceleration, but high top speed. Problem number two, that front tire was wobbly, and that was kind of scary too. So I would have to go in and adjust those spokes to get it true. That was problem number two. I was using half throttle. I wasn't full throttling this thing. I was just slowly accelerating. I wanted to take it easy because I know something might not be seated right, torqued right, and you'll just end up destroying something. That's why I was trying to take it easy. I was half throttling it. I actually just went a little over half throttle and I got up to 39 miles an hour. And after riding this thing back and forth a couple times, I got real confident with this. Full throttled it. When I gave it more gas, that's when the chain popped off. If I were to try to fix this, I would definitely need a new sprocket adapter. I would have to go in and redo the spokes because most of all these spokes are bent. This thing, even with this keyway on here, shim that I welded on here just bent. It twisted. It's not a good, I don't think, personally in my opinion, it's not a good idea to slap an engine like that on a bicycle and using bicycle parts like this will, because bicycle parts are meant for human power, not horsepower. At least not that many horsepower. So if I were to continue with this, I would get rid of this entire back end and put an actual mini bike tire on this. Originally I was supposed to make this a kind of like a motorized bike. I was supposed to have foot pedals here and then, you know, be able to pedal this thing around too. An engine this size, I'm not going to use the pedals. I'm always going to be using the engine because using the pedals is boring. This is where all the fun's going to be at, and that's true for motorized bikes unless they fail and then you got to do the pedal of shame all the way back to your home. Anything that's 100 cc's or less I think is adequate for a bicycle. Anything over 100 cc's, whether it's 2-stroke or 4-stroke, you're kind of getting into the 2.5, 3 horsepower territory, and I think that's just a little too much for a bicycle frame. So that's it for right now, at least for this build. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.